Oklahoma picked up its third 2021 commitment tonight. We got to talk about it after the bump.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You got to help me with that corner
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. So it's college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today, we need to talk about Oklahoma picking up its third 2021 commitment, right? And this is the first one since Brock Vandagriff reopened his recruitment. So we get, yes, Cullen Montgomery joining up with Cody Jackson and Ethan Downs in the 2021 class, giving Oklahoma its first offensive lineman joining the class. Cullen Montgomery is 6'5", 315 pounds, and an absolute mauler. You can see from this tape right here. My goodness, the way that this dude is finishing blocks. You really would like to put him in that category of Zeus because that's, recency bias, but Zeus is 6'8", 344. It just ain't the comp for me. You might want to see him better at pass blocking, but what you see there is an absolute outstanding down blocker, a guy that might fit in traditionally as a right tackle. Reminds me a lot of Tyron Smith with the Dallas Cowboys. Difference is Tyron Smith ran 4.95 in the 40-yard dash at his size of 6'5", 312 pounds. Obviously, he's a lot stronger and a lot more muscle than a 17-year-old kid might be. But that also gets us back to Cullen Montgomery has tremendous room to grow. And as with all offensive linemen coming out of high school, he's got room to be polished. And you're not really looking for a whole lot out of a offensive lineman as a true freshman. It's just not that position. It's not unlike in the NBA where you're going to just say, hey, big men are going to take a while to mature and understand how to move in this very small phone booth in space, to flop their feet, to set their feet, to anchor down, but also what it means to pass block and reset as opposed to just destroying people that are smaller than you. And that's what makes it really difficult to evaluate some of the film on offensive linemen. They're just so much bigger than many of the high school kids that they're going to go up against. But Montgomery coming out of Bel Air, Texas, a 3-star recruit. He's probably going to get a boost in the rankings to come based on going to some camps. Also by him committing to Oklahoma. He had offers from the likes of Georgia and others. He had just recently picked up an offer from Missouri. He'd also been really warm on Michigan and Texas A&M and even Texas. He flashed Oklahoma in a jersey last month around the signing day period ending, but not a lot of people were taking a lot from that because he had flashed a lot of different jerseys, but he was also being, vociferous about where he wanted to go. And it was really I thought perhaps there was going to be another 2021 commit to come out of this, and there still might be. But Montgomery certainly surprised me. He's a really big get for this staff. They've been on him for a little while. I like the added depth and size here because you're also talking about, a tremendous 2020 class with Andrew Raym, with, A.J. Parks, and with, Nate Anderson, guys that you expect to be contributors. Nate Anderson, much more on the athletic side, but Andrew Raym is, oh my goodness, this dude was legging out triples at 280 pounds in his size. With this, it's also an offensive tackle, right? And as much as we love offensive guards and we love good interior play, finding a guy that is this tall with this kind of hands and has had this sort of bearing as an offensive lineman is really difficult to get and find. I mean, Noah Nelson is much more in the Zeus of 6'8", 340, right? That dude also is going to learn to play better offensive line, and he's probably going to take about as long to mature as Zeus did. Remember, many people forget Orlando Brown Jr. was not as highly regarded a recruit as some, and even had an offer pulled from Tennessee until they decided to take him based on his tape out at Oklahoma, turned him into a unanimous All-American, which is not a small thing. That 2017 offensive line probably should have won the Joe Moore Award. Then Oklahoma won it in 2018. They ought to be in good shape this year to try to go and get that award again. But when you look at the way that Bill Bedenbaugh has been recruiting, my goodness, it's difficult to say now that he is not the best offensive line coach in America. If for no other reason than the competition that he had was Sam Pittman at Georgia, and now he's a head coach at Arkansas. So we'll see whether or not Matt Luke can pick that up for Georgia. Josh Henson is trying to do a really great job down there at Texas A&M, and I applaud their efforts down there. But short of Alabama and what LSU was able to do this year, I can't say that Bill Bedenbaugh has been outcoached at his position, which is saying a lot. And as much as we've seen some turnover and we've seen, Oklahoma fans kind of lose their minds a little bit with the transfer portal, myself included, you're going, okay, most of the kiddos are graduating. Most of them didn't play a lot of snaps. I wish them well. And you want to see them do well. You also see Jay Boulware went back home. He went to University of Texas, played offensive line there, was a student coach there, and some 25 years later, he's going there to be the tight ends coach, special teams coach. And people weren't necessarily losing their minds over that, if for no other reason than they remember Jace McClellan flipped to Alabama last month, but also because the guys that Lincoln Riley has had to keep in the fold have very much stayed in the fold. Cale Gundy is going to be seemingly assistant coach emeritus because he's been an assistant coach for so long at Oklahoma. But when you look at what Bill Bedenbaugh has been able to do, what Dennis Simmons has been able to do, and now with the regime change truly taking effect with Alex Grinch and the kids that don't fit the scheme or aren't finding playing time going away, you're going, okay, what are you going to do to try to shore up the rest of your 2020 class? Maybe even take in some grad transfers. You're going to need some help at linebacker because after Deshaun White and Caleb Kelly, you're going to need Brian Asamoah, who's been up and down, to really come into his own in his third year. You're also looking at an offensive line that is going to be experienced. So we're going to flip-flop with, yes, you returned 7 starters on the defense, but goodness me, do you ever need this offensive line to show up? And all the while, here we go with Junior Day, which was Sunday, which is where Cullen Montgomery got his opportunity to commit. According to my buddy Brandon Drum, reporting to OUinsider.com, this was the kiddo who stayed the longest and had the longest meeting with Lincoln Riley on Junior Day. Junior Day also hosted not just 2021 kiddos, but 2022 kiddos like Gentry Williams. There's a few others that I am looking forward to talking to. I know everybody's really excited about Jacob Sexton getting his offer. An in-state kid, 6'5", 300 plus pounds. He's going to be an outstanding offensive lineman when he matures. I'm excited to see all of the in-state kids that got in for Junior Day and how many of them Oklahoma can reel in, because you know that I believe every good Oklahoma football team is built with the backbone of Oklahoma kids, but you also got to recruit Texas, and you have to recruit it hard, and that's where Cullen Montgomery really helps you out. It's a really good pickup for Oklahoma. Tremendous hands, tremendous ability to finish blocks. He loves to put people on their back. He is hellacious and violent at the point of attack. You cannot teach an offensive lineman to be nasty. They either have that or they don't. And for Bill Bedenbaugh, you have to be nasty. You have to be the kind of dude that wants to put other men in the dirt and pound on them. That is a hallmark of his great offensive lines. You'll remember back to the 2018 OU Texas game that was the Big 12 championship. Drew Samia and them were all just going to work on Breckenhager. They were just having at him. That is the mentality that Bill Bedenbaugh wants his boys to play with. That is the mentality that Cullen Montgomery has. I'm excited to see what he looks like going into his senior season. What I expect will be an outstanding year for him, because if his tape is any indication, he's going to have a good time, and he's going to continue to mature and continue to get his technique correct. And with 3-4 years of seasoning with Bill Bedenbaugh, there's no telling what he could achieve. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.